Good morning and happy hump day, everybody. So, yesterday was quite a very fortuitous turn of events. But first let me get to my low and my high, my act of kindness. So my low is, up until yesterday afternoon, if how I acted in yesterday's video was any indication, I really wasn't looking forward to what was going on in the afternoon. Long story short, there was a doctor's appointment that I had only just found out last minute, and I wanted to go see Moana 2 yesterday afternoon. Well, as fate would have it, it really wasn't busy at work yesterday, so they let me go home early. So I go to the doctor's office, I figure, okay, if my appointment starts at 4, here's the thing, Moana had like several showings later in the evening, but I don't want to wait till 6:15 at night to watch this movie. I want to see this movie as soon as possible. So there were showings at 4:15 and 4:45. So I figured, okay, if I have to wait till 4 o'clock to see the doctor, I might as well just wait at the doctor's office. Who knows, maybe they'll get me in early. And sure enough, I did get in early. In fact, it was just 3:30 when I left my doctor's appointment. See, I originally thought because of the appointment, I would barely make the 4:45 showing. But no, I was able to make it to 4:15 after all. And it was awesome. So, naturally my high was I got to see Moana 2, which I will be talking about today. And let's see, my act of kindness. What's my act of kindness? My act of kindness was I helped set the table for dinner, because after I saw the movie, I visited my parents and, we had dinner. And it was nice. But, yeah, let's get this started, because going into Moana 2, I was pretty much going in cold in terms of not really reading any of the reviews for the movie. In fact, I only looked at the Rotten Tomatoes score with just a few minutes before the movie started, because I only just thought of it. And, okay, don't laugh, but right now it has a score of 69 on Rotten Tomatoes. Now, for all intents and purposes, anything above a 60 on Rotten Tomatoes is considered good. And Moana 2 is obviously a good movie. But I think it's a lot better than the 69. Hell, I think it should at least be a 75. And let me read the review. Okay, so, riding high in its wave of stunning animation, I'll get to that in a second. Even when the story runs adrift, I'll get to that in a second. Moana 2 isn't as inspired as the original, I'll get to that in a second, but still delights as a colorful adventure. Okay, first of all, the parts where they say the story runs adrift and isn't as inspired, I humbly disagree with that. Because, in terms of saying the story runs adrift, I can follow the story pretty darn easily. Here's the thing. When you have a sequel to a really successful movie like Moana, you need to make this story bigger than the first one. And in many ways it did. With bigger action pieces, bigger, more bombastic songs, a bigger cast, and whatever the climax you had in the first movie, it should be of equal or even greater value in the sequel. And I truly do believe that in those regards, Moana 2 is just as inspired as the first one. But let's talk about the movie itself. So let me get my notes out. So basically, it's 3 years after the first. That's actually the one. Like, I'm looking this up right now. The first place takes. This movie takes 3 years. Takes place 3 years after the first film. Okay. So, long ago, there was an ancient god called Nado, I believe, and well, actually, many years ago, there was an island called Motufetu, where Nalo had a curse on the island of Motufetu, which once connected the people of all the oceans. Something about like all the currents of the ocean naturally gravitate towards this island, thus bringing people all over the ocean together. And if you know how to navigate those currents, sea travel is a lot easier, etc. Now, in the beginning, the movie literally starts off with Maui heading for like this ancient place, which is run by an underworld goddess named Matangi, played by, if I can find her name, Aohimai Fraser, who has one of the best songs in the movie, Get Lost. That's the name of the song, Get Lost. Actually, a lot of these songs in the movie are really, really good. Get Lost, Can I Get a Chi-Hu, Finding the Way, What Could Be Better Than This? Like, I'm like, okay, this is awesome, this is nice. Like, it's very clear, they got Lin-Manuel Miranda to come back to make the soundtrack, just like he did for the first one. And he was doing his thing. Like, he picked up right where he left off, and the music was fun, engaging. And not to mention the cast I mentioned. It's really big. There's a Moni, who's a Maui fanboy in the best possible way. There's Loto, one of Moana's friends, very brainy but quirky. She's basically like a shipwright, if that makes sense. Let's see. Kile, the grumpy farmer, which, you know, they need the farmer on the crew simply because they can't just eat fish the entire time they're on the voyage. You know, they need produce. They need a way to grow on the water. So, it was great. And not to mention, Louis Cavallo and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson are both reprising their roles as Moana and Maui, respectively. And just like in the first one, their chemistry is undeniable. And when they reunite around near the climax of the film, like, it feels genuinely earned. Like, well, I mentioned the Maui got captured by Matangi. Apparently Matangi is in a giant clam, like a really big clam. And everyone's in prison, and Matangi is trying to teach Moana a very important lesson because they're trying to get to the island of Motufetu. But the lesson there is there's more than one way to get to where you gotta go. Sometimes you have to travel, you know, the road less traveled. You know, in other words, get lost. See what I did there? That's the name of the song. Now, there are genuinely dark and heartbreaking moments in this film. Like, when they first get to where Motufetu is, and they're greeted by like these giant like eel fish things that are attacking the ship, like, how are they gonna get out of this? And like through it all, there was someone, whether it was Maui's tattoo. Maui's tattoo is great in this one. Like, the tattoo is awesome. Seriously, like, that tattoo is the unsung hero because without the tattoo, it doesn't inspire Maui to talk to Moana, and thus we get the song Can I Get a Chi-Hu, which is a great song, by the way. And it was just fun. This movie is just a lot of fun. And I mentioned that whatever happens in the first movie, it's got to be bigger and better than the sequel. The climax of the film, I thought was better than the first one. And I thought the first one had a great climax. But basically what happens is, Nalo does not like humans. He hates Maui, but he hates humans a lot more. So the plan is, Maui's going to try and use his hook to lift the island out of the ocean, because Nalo sunk the island of Montefetu. And in order to break Nalo's curse, humans just simply have to step foot on it, or touch it in any capacity. So what happens is, remember when I said earlier how one of the lessons of the film is there's more than one way to get to where you gotta go? Well, if you can't lift the island out of the water for humans to step on it, why not swim to the bottom where the island is? Which leads to one of the most, honestly, I think one of the most nerve-wracking scenes Disney's ever put to film, where like Moana is swimming and swimming and swimming. It's like to get to where the island is in the water. And she's like right there, but Nalo strikes a bolt of lightning and it's traveling through the water to get to Moana. Like, is she actually going to touch the island before it happens? I mean, she does. And there's like this brief moment of like Moana smiling, but then the lightning gets her. Like, I'm not going to lie, they legit teased a death in this movie. I mean, listen, Disney doing fake out deaths, that's been going on forever. So why stop here? But this was genuinely nerve-wracking. I mean, again, they wouldn't kill off the main character. That'd be crazy. In a Disney film? I mean, it worked for stuff like Mufasa and Bambi's dad because they weren't the main character. Simba and Mandela in those distracted movies. Anyway, so let's see, hold on. Oh, I'm reading the notes right now, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who plays Maui, his daughter plays voices of members of Moana Slam called Moana Bees. That's such a good name for a fan group. It is. It's better than Swifties, I'll say that much. Oh, right. I need to talk about the big thing at the end. So, keep in mind, I didn't stay for the entirety of the credits. So I could be totally missing something here, but long story short, we're getting a Moana 3. How do I know we're getting Moana 3? Because there's a mid-credit sequence where we finally get to see who Nalo looks like. It's very clear that Nalo is going to be the main antagonist for the third Moana film. Which, listen, I don't know how long it will be until Moana 3 actually happens. I mean, both the first film and this film are 8 years apart. Which seems like a long time, and technically, yeah, Disney probably could have gotten this film out sooner. But you gotta remember, animation, whether it's 2D or 3D or whatever you're doing, it takes a long time to do. Like, the fact that we even got a sequel, not to mention, there's the process of even bringing this idea to like an executive board and say, listen, we want to make this into a movie, let's do it. There's so much that goes into making just a movie in general that it's amazing we even got a Moana 2 at all. And not to mention, it's amazing we got a Moana 2 that's good. This is good. Like, listen, I know a lot of people are going to go see Wicked or Gladiator 2, for the holiday season, which is a great time to see the movies because, with family and stuff. But I gotta be honest, Moana 2 was the film I was looking forward to most this year. I just realized I've seen a lot of sequels this year in the theater. I mean, saw Kung Fu Panda 4, Moana 2. I know I saw something else, but for the life of me, I can't remember. Point is, I never got to see Deadpool Wolverine. I was in Colorado when that movie premiered, and I was on vacation. They got by me, so at some point I'll probably watch that movie. But right now, I'll be the one to say it. Moana 2 is a whole lot of fun, like a whole lot of fun. Again, Lin-Manuel Miranda did his thing in terms of writing the music. The cast, I will admit, does get a bit much in the beginning, but they grow on you pretty quick. Moana and Maui have some of the best chemistry I've seen put to film, even now. Seriously, one moment where I'm like, okay, now things are getting a lot better, was when Moana gets separated from her crew, and her crew run into Maui. And Maui sees Hey Hey, once again voiced by Alan Tudyk, and says, Boat Snack! Wait, Boat Snack? Where's Moana? That is a look of determination right there. That's a look that says, if that person is mad at someone else, I do not envy that someone else. So, yeah. This movie was a lot of fun. Unfortunately, movies this year in terms of animation have been kind of lackluster from what I've seen. It's very clear The Wild Robot's going to win the Academy Award for Best Animated Picture. No question. But if Moana 2 got a nomination, this movie's going to get nominated for some Academy Awards. I'm sure it will. I can definitely see a few candidates for Best Original Song. Probably, hold on. I would say Beyond this, Beyond is probably going to be nominated for best song, which is a great song. Again, the music in this film was great. I can definitely see. No, actually, best anime. The only Academy Awards I can see it getting nominated for, again, best animated picture and best song. But if it gets at least one Oscar nomination, it'll definitely, it's going to validate this movie a lot more than what people are giving it. Because, seriously, 69% Rotten Tomatoes, come on. It's better than that. It's a little bit better than that, at least. I had a lot of fun. This is great. Yeah. That's all I got. Go see Moana 2. I hope you like this video. If you like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow social media. As always, I encourage you to help me this video for you guys to watch the show every day. Hope you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Wednesday. Happy hump day, folks. And remember, if you guys want to talk, channels, we're here to lend you back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.